Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to TMP Finance, where we make long and short-term investing simple. We're going to take a look at the NASDAQ and at a couple other stocks running the NASDAQ that you want to be keeping an eye on in the short term. So without further ado, we'll get started here. For the NASDAQ, let's talk about the bearish option first, which I think is unfortunately one of my more favorite positions now, just because of the weakness I'm seeing in the NASDAQ today. What I'm looking for here is this potential head and shoulders pattern where we have the first shoulder, and let me actually grab my draw tool if I remember where it is. We have the first shoulder here, our head here, and then the second shoulder potentially here. Now, if we do get a rejection of this purple zone over here, I can't really draw a support and resistance line because this is a very thick zone here, ranging about, let's see here, about 100 points. But if we do get a rejection of this zone here, that could be a very bad sign where we could come back down all the way to 22,900. Right now, if you are selling at pretty close to this purple zone over here, then that's a great short trade, and what you could be doing is waiting for re-entry here if you haven't shorted well in this section here, taking a look all the way back down to 22,950 and having your stop loss right above the zone. Again, if this is rejection, there's no reason for it to move any higher. The thing that I do like about this is great risk reward ratio, and typically when you see the market fall, it falls very, very quick. I mean, just in 2 days here, and this is still within a bull trend, you have the market that fell a total of 3.46%. So it's very easy to get very good short trades within the NASDAQ, and you're going to get paid out a lot faster than those long positions. But let's talk about that long position though. Where do I expect our long position to be? Again, very simple, it's just the opposite. A break of this purple box will indicate that we're making a new higher high, and that this could potentially be a lower low and a lower low and a higher high and a higher high, and then we just continue that pattern there. So I'm waiting for a break of this purple box here, stop loss right below the box, take profit at something like a 4 risk to reward ratio. And if you do take a look at where this will kind of end up, it's kind of in the same diagonal line that kind of just matches. So this is not too far-fetched, and you're right below the 24,500 psychological level there as well. So that is something to keep an eye out for. Let's take a look at the next stock here. I want to talk about MongoDB. This is a stock that I was begging everybody to be buying back, I want to say last week. I posted videos talking about undervalued stocks, and this is definitely one of them. They had earnings and they went up 37.96% after hours, and they went up even more during open hours. Now, it's not too late for you to get into this. What am I waiting for? Again, if you are like me, you don't like to take on too much risk, you don't like to have too much downside, I think it's very fair that we could come back and refill this gap here. I'm not saying to a perfect fill, but we can see that we have this very straightforward support and resistance line that runs through this level here at $250 a share. And we're just trying to buy a little bit over that again, because 250 you're going to see a lot of buyers and a lot of sellers, as we can see previously here. So just buying a little bit while it's ahead so you don't get the rejection right away. So you want to wait for MDB to pull back, I want to say about 14%, which I think is very possible. Again, it went up 40% in one day. Gaps like these you typically see do get closed, so I will wait for a retracement back to this line over here. Not quite a retest of the resistance line, I think that's a little too deep, and then from there I'm looking to take profit somewhere around that $400 psychological level as well. That is a very typical level for these high valued stocks to reach out for take profit. And as we can see here, just without even having to look at the chart, I know that's going to be a major resistance zone. And look at this, one top, a failed breakout, two tops, a gap up from the top, a failed top to 400 again, and then lots of other tops in the area. So waiting for that pullback, getting a very nice risk to reward ratio. Your stop loss for this trade, especially when you're getting these pullbacks and retests, will be very, very tight, and that is absolutely fantastic. So looking for a risk to reward of about 7.52. Let's move on to the next stock here, Nike. Nike looks like it's going to be breaking out very soon. I've been talking about Nike for months now. I've been keeping my eye out for Nike a lot. And we are at this resistance line right over here, almost breaking through today. I want to see that volume, that volatility push out and get Nike out of this range significantly. It's been really respecting this resistance line here, so I want to see it rise above the resistance line. And then you also have, luckily, this nice support that's kind of guiding you as a trailing stop loss. So let's say that we do get a breakout right over here at, let's say, $78 or $79 tomorrow. Your stop loss is right below this rising support line, and take profit right at $100 a share. Again, very good take profit level for psychology, And you can see that there's a lot of volume within the zone as well. So that is one level that I'm looking out for. Do I think that Nike's going to go higher than $100 a share? Absolutely. I think that we'll be able to reach something like 116, but I think that $100 right now in the short term is a very, very good trade, especially if you are a leveraged trader. Let's take a look at Tesla. Tesla is one stock that I've also been keeping an eye out for, and I've been telling a lot of people to buy. Back on Thursday, I told everybody to full port Tesla. You're keeping your stop loss right below 314, which was a rejection point here and a retest of this falling resistance. Take profit was at 355, and that was just based on where I've seen the market peak a lot, and that was absolutely perfect. That was a great take profit. Just take a look at how close we got that sniper exit, just like how we got that sniper entry, and we just closed just by a hair. So that was very, very nice. Again, I think Tesla will continue up to about 360, but again, I'm not here to focus on getting a pixel perfect closeout. I just want to be conservative, especially when I'm leveraging my position. So that was 10.73 on the chart, or about 33% after my leverage. So very good trade there, 5 risk reward ratio. If you're interested in learning how to get trades like these, where to find them, come take a look at the link in my description. You're going to find my Discord, and from there you get all the trades that I take in real time. You get the stop loss, the take profit, and free one-on-one sessions. So if you're interested in that, come take a look at that. Let's move on to the next stock though. I want to talk about CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike looks like it's having this falling resistance line over here. We've fallen, let's see, from its peak. We're currently down 18.5%. So this is a great place to be buying CrowdStrike. This was a previous all-time high as well. CrowdStrike has been extremely strong in recent history here. So I like to see that trend continue. That being said, again, it's still a bull trend in the major scheme of things. So I want to be able to look for buying positions, and as soon as I see a breakout of this resistance line, this is an absolutely fantastic trade that I will personally be full porting on my portfolio. Again, your risk appetite is up to you, but I'm looking for a take profit at something like 508, and I'm putting my stop loss right below the swing low. Again, if this is the real exit, there's no reason to go any lower. 6.7 risk reward ratio, and that is still very conservative levels there. Very conservative stop loss. That's not looking at, you know, these 1 minute support and resistance zones. This is a 1 day support and resistance zone. And then even if you want to take profit at something higher, if you believe in CrowdStrike as a long-term holding, you could look for something like maybe even 550, which is a psychological level as well. So that could be a very good trade that you could be looking for in the future. Let's talk about the shining star of today. I made a video yesterday saying that NVIDIA was releasing earnings, and they did so. NVIDIA beat earnings, even though the market didn't react as such, but it beat earnings by 4% here, had a revenue surprise of 1.51. But right now in the after hours, it looks like NVIDIA has dropped about 2.45%, with the maximum drop being at about 5.35%. So this is really going to dictate where the NASDAQ goes. And again, looking for a rejection point or breakthrough of this purple box here is going to give you a very, very good long or short trade, and nothing in between. So stay patient, wait for confluence, and that's pretty much it. But that's going to be a wrap for today's video, and I will see you tomorrow. Take care, y'all. Later.